everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. As always, honored to be here with you now, right now, in this moment. And I love thinking about that, and especially this week, thinking about it because I wanted to focus on what that means to be in the present moment, to embrace the present moment. And I'm wondering, if you think about it, how often do you do that? So we are here now. Now is relative even because some of you are with me in real time, live. Others will be connected at another time via on-demand features, which is amazing with technology. But whenever you are here in this moment, are you fully focused? Are you distracted? Is something else going on? Where's your brain? What are you thinking about? Can you pause with me? As it says on the video at the beginning of Dreamleapers Inspiration. And how often do you devote all of your attention to whatever is before you wholeheartedly? How often are you showing up to the moment with your full, complete self? And not just showing up, but welcoming it, embracing it, not showing up with dread, showing up with wonder, with appreciation, with joy. How often do you do that? I have been thinking about this because what I know that people do very often is to project into the future. What am I doing next? What is on my list? What do I have to get done? The list is long. You know me, I'm a list maker and follower, so I believe strongly in having those lists. But is the list driving you without you seeing where your feet are, knowing whatever's going on in your world at this exact moment? Are you projecting so far into the future with your list that you don't see where you are? Some of us do that. Some of us do that for survival. I can't bear the circumstances that I'm in, so I've got to look to the future and how I can get out. Others look back nostalgically. Oh, life used to be so good then. Remember when? And the what if I had done X or Y back in the day? What would my life be like now? Those things can have you spiral without ending up having the joy of being in the moment. Oh, I see. Let me see. Okay. I am not knowing how to say people's names, but what I'm going to say is hello to folks who are writing in, let's see, Alzara, I think, and then Mexiconas. And then Mexiconas is writing to me in another language. I love that. And here, this is Naina from India. Wow. Thank you all for checking in from so many different places. I absolutely love that. Thank you for joining from wherever you are in India. I know it's either late or early. It must be late. So thank you for tuning in. For those of you who know a bit about me, I practice meditation, and sometimes we have gatherings that are gatherings from all over the world, and sometimes they start during India time because a lot of people in my community are there. And we have to get up early in the morning, and we do so with joy on our faces and in our hearts because we can be together. I am located in Harlem, New York. I'm from Baltimore, but I'm located in Harlem. And you guys, tell me where you are. For those of you who are connecting wherever you are, tell me where you are. I want to know. We love being able to be connected in this way. And so being in the present moment, that's, part of what is amazing about technology is just this. I can look and see people writing in and connecting, and I love when that happens because we know we are here together now. We are cherishing this moment now. We are embracing this moment now. That is it. That is what it's all about. Instead of lamenting the past, fearing the future, or even being so excited about the future that you want to skip over whatever you're doing in this moment. So my producer has just put up here to let you know it is possible for Dreamleapers Inspiration for you to join this conversation on camera with me if you'd like. If you want to do that and share what's on your mind and your heart, you can go online to my website, harrietcole.com/inspiration, and we can bring you up on stage to have a little chat during this time. This broadcast is about a half hour, so if you want to do it, you should jump in now, and as soon as I am ready, I will bring you on. So this notion of the present moment, embracing the present moment, has come up in lots of ways, at a certain age. So for me, uh, there's a lot that I can look back on and things that I feel good about, things that I don't, things that just are past. But one of the things for me and so many others, at least in our culture, and when I say our culture, let's say in Western culture, how you look means so much. And we are judged on the way that we look. There's so many ads about how you look and what you can do with yourself and how you can look a particular way. And so many people talk about, I wish I had embraced how I looked, how my physical being was back whenever, because look at me now. So I'm going to tell on myself. I was at several wonderful events this past week. And at one of them, I met a photographer who took a few pictures of me. And I loved the pictures and was really pleased about it. But he was shooting with a couple of different lenses. And one lens tended to make a person, in this case me, look wider. I'm like, I don't want that one. Let's go with the narrower one, the thinner one. And I was going, I remember her. And I'm joking as I'm saying it, but I wasn't lying. When I was very young, I was actually too skinny. I was very, very skinny. It wasn't until I discovered modeling that I even liked being in this very, very thin body. And now that I'm not skinny anymore, I lament not having, not the skinny body, but, a skinnier body. I'm going to bet if I asked you if you wish there was something about your body today that you had in the past, most people would say yes, because that's the culture we live in and we grow and change. But I'm bringing this up because as I was saying, he showed me a picture at one event, as I'd run into a friend who I hadn't seen in many, many years. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I like her. I remember her." It was a joke, but it was true. And my friend said, "Harriet, you look great now." And at first, I was deflecting and saying, "Well, but I don't look like I used to look." And he said to me, "But you look great now." And I paused and remembered something that I've been taught: accept a compliment and also accept where you are. Embrace the present moment. I am not that girl from 30 years ago. I don't even want to be. I am not that girl from 20 years ago. When my daughter was born 22 years ago, praise God for her, but my body was really different before her and after her. We change. It's easy for many of us to recognize the physical changes and go, "Ooh, I don't like." Um, Also, when you don't like something, you can change it. You can get healthier. You can do things for yourself to make you stronger. So, accepting and embracing the present moment doesn't mean that you don't or shouldn't do anything to make yourself stronger, better, happier, healthier, whatever it is. But to wish for something that is past is pointless. Like, you can't get that back. You can go, "Ooh, I can exercise and get stronger. I can change my diet and get leaner. I can go to a class and improve my writing," or whatever whatever skill you feel like you want to strengthen, rather than getting stuck in something that you can't have what happened in the past, or wanting something now that you can't have now, but you may be able to have in the future. Work on the now. What can you do in the now? Okay, I've got Yvette from Harlem. Hello. I'm in Harlem with you, girl. And then Sherry's in Chicago. And oh, Naina says that it's 6:30 in India. Uh, so it's easy time for you. So 6:30 p.m. Tell your friends in India to tune in. I'm asking this of everybody about embrace the present moment, really embrace it, because I know I just gave you an example. On a very happy day when I felt great about myself, it was a little in jest when I said, "Oh, yeah, I remember her." But in reality, in that moment, that was me. That was a picture of me. And I'm saying, looking at that picture, saying, "I remember her." What does that mean? Take a deep breath. Be here now. Be in this moment. Embrace this moment. What is great about this moment? What is great about you in this moment? I really want all of us to think about this because we can so easily deflect. This notion of the difficulty that so many of us have in accepting a compliment. You know, I've spent many, many hours and sessions working with people about accepting compliments because we deflect. It's an automatic thing. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, people deflect. But is that what you want to do? Is it? I'm thinking it's way better to say thank you. It's way better to receive the gifts, the grace that all that is coming to you in this moment where people see you and appreciate you. And I'm going to say hi to, is it Janie from Maryland, from my hometown, my home state anyway. What happens if you just take it in? Thank you. Also at the same event, well, it was wonderful because I saw so many people that I know and I have known over the years. And I hadn't seen them in a while. So then you get to share real hugs. You know how that feels? And the connector for this event, I should say his name, Musa Jackson from Ambassador Magazine, was hosting a magazine launch for him. And it was an art opening for a wonderful Haitian artist, Guy Stanley Filoche. And Musa brought everybody out, and there were multi-generations of people whom I know who were present, celebrating this artist and connecting because Musa's the great ambassador, connector. Anyway, there were a couple of young people there who I don't know. And they came over, 2 people in particular, to say thank you for this. Thank you for always being inspirational. And I'm going to assume that it has to do with this particular program because it's focused on inspiration. But you know what? I'm doing what my parents taught me how to do, which is to live in a space of service and inspiration. So it could just be. But I want to tell you something. It was a wonderful feeling to have someone say, thank you for consistently being inspirational. What did that tell me? That I'm living my brand. That's what we call it now. What do you stand for? What do you want people to think is true about you? And whatever that is, you want it to come out of people's mouths without you having to pay them to say it, right? And just because they believe it. So I was grateful for that. And I want you to think about what do you stand for? What is your brand? And part of the way you discover that is by how you live. How you live, who you are, what you do every day. And I think embracing the present moment can help with that. So let's go to the quote. I found a wonderful quote that I'd love to share with you that just helps to bring it home. You can't go back to how things were, how you thought they were. All you really have is now. This is from Jay Asher. So listen, everybody, close your eyes for a moment. Just be still. Take a breath. Be in the present. Take another breath. And one more. And then keep your eyes closed and listen. You can't go back to how things were, how you thought they were. All you really have is now. Take that in. All you really have is now. Right? Think about that. All you have is this moment. And so, how do you spend your moments? If all you have is this moment, then what? And when we realize that this is true is when loved ones suddenly die, or have an accident, or lose a job, or lose another loved one, or a relationship changes. Whatever it is, change, when things change dramatically in your life, then you realize, oh my goodness, like 1 moment ago, my life was like this, and now it's forever changed. Jay Asher says you can't go back to how things were, how you thought they were. Doesn't matter. All you really have is now. So what do you do with now? Remember Prince's song 1999? This is when that was that Y2K time and people thought the world was going to end. And what are you going to do if the world is going to end now, tomorrow? What will you do today? So some people who have that thought and question decide they're going to party like it doesn't matter. Some people decide they're going to dig in and complete whatever it is that's on their heart. Other people are going to close the door so that there's space for another door to open. Other people are going to move. I can't tell you how many of my beloved friends are moving or have moved, looking at the globe as their home and finding other places to be because they want to make a new chapter in their worlds. You can't go back to how things were, how you thought they were. All you really have is now. What does that mean for you? What is now? What does now mean? What does this moment mean for you right this second? And how can you cherish it right this second? And how can you work to discard the many distractions that stand in the way of you being fully present in this moment? I want you to notice as you go through today, notice how many times you are attempting to hold 2, 3, 4, 5 different thoughts and actions at the same time. And how effective are you? This idea of multitasking. Some years ago, it was espoused, especially in the business world, that if you could multitask, if you could do more than one thing at the same time, you could be more productive and your life was going to be better. You would excel, you would get promoted more quickly. And a whole lot of people took that on like, yes, I'm going to do that. This is a good thing. And then there were studies. And among these studies, what was discovered is that multitasking is not as effective as one might think. It is distracting you because you're splitting your focus. So just like if you think of using a power cord that has a power strip, that has multiple places for you to plug in electronics. Let's say there's 7 holes and you plug all of them in. If anything needs a whole lot of energy, it can short the whole thing out and then you have nothing, right? Now, if you do it carefully, you might be able to have a few of them in there. But when is one more too much? Think about that power strip and thinking about how do we use our energy. And if you will remember looking at some of the instructions in when you buy electronics, it'll say, plug this directly into the power source. Do not plug this into a power strip. And how often do we disobey that rule? Because, well, depending upon where you live, and like in my case, I live in an old building and the electricity is not as perfect as it should be, you might need to use a power strip. Think of that as yourself. How many plugs can you put into the electrical being that you are? How many things can be going at the same time? What happens when you have so many things going at the same time? It dims your light. It has to share your energy over many different platforms. And so I want to say, unplug. It's so much harder to do than what I'm saying, but unplug, at least some. Unplug. Figure out how you can unplug, have one plug in at a time. Yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be here now, be fully present, and use this moment to do whatever is important now, and then complete that, and then go to the next, right? What happens? What happens if you do that? What happens if you decide that whatever is before you is so important, you're going to focus all of your attention on that before you move on to something else? What happens if when your mind says, oh, remember the days of old when this was so much easier, when whatever, when you start living in the past in your mind, take a breath, pause, and remind yourself that you want to be in the present moment and see what happens. Like, it really does work. It gives you more energy if you focus. It gives you the ability to get things done more quickly if you focus. And I think that we don't realize that. Like, even in, I use a social experience. So just when I was at these different events, there are lots of people to speak to. You're moving from buzzing from one social set to another. You cannot speak to all the people at the same time. It's one, and then another, and then another. And if you don't do that, nobody feels honored. But if you are in the moment, eye contact, connecting with someone before you pivot and go to the next, each of those moments, it's like a bee pollinating a flower. Each of those moments matters because you paid attention, because you honored the moment by being in it. You honored the person by making eye contact, acknowledging them, speaking to them, smiling at them, being present. And then you pivot to the next. If you sort of gloss over, you're not really looking, but people feel that. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel intimate. It doesn't matter. Don't you want your life to matter every single day? I do. I want my interactions to matter. I want to discover ways to be more caring and thoughtful. I want to practice forgiveness so when I don't do that great of a job, I can take a breath, apologize when necessary to myself or to others, and move forward. I want all these things because they matter. And when you embrace the present moment and you go, okay, I'm here. Why am I here? What am I supposed to learn here? What can I do here that will count? I always say, have a great day and make it count. What does it mean for it to count? What does it mean in that moment for it to really matter. You have to step back and decide that. See, this is where we have agency. We so often do not realize how much power we have as individuals. We have so much power. We have the power to help brighten someone's light or diminish it. I know you know this if you think about how you've engaged other people. Sometimes your engagement feels like a big breath of fresh air. Sometimes it can feel contracted. What would you prefer? And depending upon what you prefer, do that. Live like that. You know, this is something I learned from my mother, and it's coming up on just a few days from now. It'll be the anniversary of her passing, 1 year. And, you know, my mother had an electric smile. And when she would walk into a room, literally it felt like light was preceding her, surrounding her, you know, pulsing through her. And in part, it would show itself through her smile. It was a gift that she generously offered to others because a smile can be, in the very best way, infectious. Ah, you smile, and then the next person feels it. And even if they didn't have a smile on their face, a smile often emerges because just like a yawn, when somebody yawns, you yawn. When somebody smiles, you often smile. She believed, my mother, Doris Cole, believed that it was a choice and a blessing to be able to share love with other people wherever you were. Any day, every day, wherever you were. Even if you needed to be stern, even if you were upset, even if whatever you were going through, that love could still be infused in the moment. And part of embracing the present moment was infusing it with light and love so that you could see it better, be more present in it, and be ready to share goodness from it with other people. So that is a philosophy of living. I recognize this is how my mother lived her life. That's what she taught my sisters and me to do. To be strong, kind, clear, loving, and present. And not everybody has that as a lesson. Some people are grumpy and really own it and feel like that's okay. And some people are glasses half empty people. I'm not judging that. People are however they are. But what I learned is that when you can embrace the present moment with love, with the belief in the potential of the moment, what happens? Magic happens, I think. Joy happens. Connection happens. When you share your light and love, you attract others. And when you share it in a really beautiful way, you attract that beautiful energy back. Whatever you put out there is what you get back. That's the laws of attraction. Don't you want something good? I do. I want that circle of love and light to be positive always, even when there's something hard I need to learn. And when I am not at my best, I want to be able to see it, amend whatever it is, and move forward. Learn from whatever didn't work well so that I can apply it now and in the future. And so I offer to you, embrace this moment, embrace the moment that you're in, find the goodness in it, find your power in it, your strength in it, and help it to propel you into the next moment. It really does work. It's a powerful thing to acknowledge that this is all we have, this moment that we're in. And we don't have to be fatalistic in that 1999 kind of way. We can be optimistic. What can I do in this moment that is going to make all better? And I'll share one more thing with you. Sherilyn Ifill, the former head of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, was the keynote speaker at the Studio Museum in Harlem Spring Luncheon just this past week, an outstanding event. And one of the things that Sherilyn said that was so important, she wanted all of us gathered to understand and accept it is our responsibility to plant seeds of goodness and possibility for the future, right now in this moment, and to be willing for them to blossom after we're gone. That this may be generations of cultivating these seeds that we plant now for goodness and equity and fairness and love for all, to plant them now, to teach the next generations how to nurture them, and to be able to say, if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, it's okay. That what I do now is worth what will happen for the next and future generations. So incredibly powerful. It's helpful when we look at what's happening in our world and feel fear or anger or worry. Plant the seeds of goodness and potential now in this moment and trust that they will be nurtured by generations to come. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this inspired you to embrace the present moment with a smile on your face. I appreciate you. Thank you for connecting from all over the world. It's so nice to be with you. Please share Dreamleapers Inspiration with your friends. Please know that Dreamleapers, this educational platform, I found it 10 years ago. Can you believe it? 10 years. So we've been together in one way or another for a decade. Inspiration since the pandemic. I try to find every possible way I can to connect with others to help us uplift each other. So until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.